Hello my lovely Year 3s. Today we are moving on to chapter 2 of Evie in the Jungle. Hopefully you've been following the lesson so far this week. If you haven't, don't worry, there's still time to catch up. Make sure you've seen Monday's video, so that's the video from the 20th of April, all about how to download the book, which is called Evie in the Jungle, and then make sure you've read chapter 1, which was the work for yesterday. For those of you who have read chapter 1, let's just quickly recap the key facts we need to remember for the story going forward. Firstly, the main character is a girl called Evie, and she's very famous because she has a very special talent. This talent is that she can communicate with animals using her mind. So just using her mind, she can hear what they're thinking and saying, or trying to say, and she can actually talk to them using her mind. Because of this special talent, she also can communicate with her dog, who's called Scruff, who's another one of the key characters that we've already met in the story so far. Now we've done our recap, it's time for you to go ahead and carry on with chapter 2. So you need to read all the way to the end of chapter 2 of Evie in the Jungle and then come back to this video. So press pause now and go do your reading. If you've unpaused this video, it means that you've read chapter 2 and you're ready to find out what our learning intention is today. So today we're going to be carrying on from yesterday's work, which was about using examples from the text to support our answers. There was actually a really good piece of work handed in by someone called Fiona from Nightingale class. This is Fiona's work. The first thing I noticed about it is it's very neat. She's done the date underlined with the title and a subtitle explaining what the task was. She's written in paragraphs with nice handwriting on each line. We're going to be focusing on this second paragraph here. I'm going to read out what I think is the best part of her answer. I think Evie is fierce, fearless and adventurous. The reasons I think this is because on the front cover she is holding a wild animal and she also has a leopard standing next to her. Now the reason Fiona's given such an excellent answer is, first of all, she's given us some great adjectives to describe what she thinks Evie will be like. She said she's fierce, she's fearless, she's adventurous, but also she's shown us what about the front cover has actually made her think that. So she's given an example from the front cover that supports her answer. She's looked on the front cover and seen that Evie is sitting next to some really wild animals, a leopard, for example. And that is what's made her think that Evie is fierce and fearless and adventurous. So by explaining that in her answer, I can really understand what Fiona is thinking, and it makes me think, wow, Fiona has really understood this front cover very well. For today's questions, which are on chapter 2, I recommend that all of you follow the structure of how Fiona has done her answers, which is to give her answer and then always support your answer with an example from the text. This is also what we did yesterday. In these questions, it might be a little bit more tricky to find the bit of the text that relates to your answer. So you just need to think about it very carefully and sometimes think, what is the meaning behind the words in the story? Let's do an example together. So what I've got up on my screen now is the document that you can download from the remote learning area of the Grange School website under Year 3. If you don't have access to this, don't worry, it's all on the screen for you to see right now. At the bottom of the page, you've got a box which has today's task in it. The task says, answer these comprehension questions in full sentences, which is what you should have done yesterday as well. Let's take a look at the question. It says, why do you think Evie's dad looked worried for a moment? So now I need to go to my text and find the bit where it said that Evie's dad looked worried. It says, her dad looked worried for a moment. Now, it doesn't say anywhere why he looked worried. Like, it doesn't explain her dad looked worried because he was thinking about this or thinking about that. So this is one of those questions where the answer isn't obvious, and I might need to think about what the meaning behind the words is. In order to do that, I need to look at what is said before and after the bit where it said that her dad was worried in order to look for clues. Straight after it says her dad looked worried for a moment, it says, then he smiled. You are your mother's child, but the Amazon is a big and dangerous place. Are you sure? And what about Scruff? Well, I know the bit before says it was talking about Evie wanting to go to the Amazon. So I know that Evie wants to go to the Amazon, and the dad thinks the Amazon is a big and dangerous place. Perhaps that connects to why he's worried. Actually, it makes me think that he's worried because he thinks the Amazon is too dangerous for Evie to go there, and maybe he's scared for her. So when I write my answer now, I need to make sure I write in a full sentence using the words of the question. I think Evie's dad looked worried for a moment, those are the words of the question, because he was scared of the idea that Evie wanted to go to the Amazon. I think this because, and this is important, I need to give my reason now, what part of the story tells me this. I think this because he calls the Amazon a big and dangerous place. And here I've used a specific example taken exactly from the text. So now it's time for you to have a go at the task by yourself. Make sure you have a pen and paper ready. The first thing you need to do is to write the date, 22nd of April 2020. You can write the short date, year 3 reading, and the LI, which, even though we're still using examples to support our answers, the specific LI for the day is to make inferences from the text, which is what you're doing when you are giving an answer which is not exactly in the text, but you're kind of having to use the clues to help you figure out the answer. So make sure you've written the date and LI. Pause the video if you need to now to write it down. And now, using full sentences, answer these 2 questions. You can see I've left my example up there for you to have a look at if you need help. But your 2 questions are, why do you think Evie wants to go to the Amazon? So have a look. Does she explain why? Does she give any hints as to why? And the second question is, why do you think Evie does not want to go to the Brazilian rainforest? So pause the screen now so you can answer those questions. If you have the document downloaded from the school website, you can use that too. And then once you're finished, make sure you send a picture of your work or ask a parent or guardian to send a picture of your work to the Year 3 email address. I'll be looking out for other pieces of really good work that I can share with everyone.